My name is Hatcho Semerciyan, and I'm the admin for LPP. Let's put out the group, and I'm always there to help my members and all the scarring alopecia patients around the world as much as we can. I think it was around 2001 that we noticed a little bit of a spot on my head. So I went to get some biopsy, and the result was negative. There was nothing to show there, but I never looked at it. But when I checked later on, it says somewhere on the bottom that this could lead in the future to LPP, which even my doctor didn't tell me that. So that was kind of a little bit shocking for me later on. So until 2005, I lost a little bit. And then I think it was Dr. Scott Walsh and Dr. Donovan that gave me my first biopsy, and it was LPP. So then I went, I think maybe 3 or 4 different dermatologists, and the biopsy was correct and was diagnosed with LPP, but there was no information. So one of the doctors just wrote it down on a piece of paper for me, and he said, this is the name, just go and Google it. Basically, that was it. So I went home, and Google was pretty new at the time. So the answer wasn't really that much. There was no help, nothing at all. The Facebook group was about new. It was 2009 that I opened my group, November 2009. So I basically said, this is the way to go, because I wanted to learn and I want the others to learn. That's the reason, basically, I started LPP, just to help myself and help others. The name, it really says it itself, because we were in a fire at the beginning. Like, my scalp was in fire, basically. It was so, I couldn't even sleep at night. I put myself on the pillow, and it was on a fire, basically. So I said, the only name I guess I could put this something to do with the fire. And so I find out LPP, let's put out the fire. Started in 2009 November with basically 2 people. Myself started, and then I had the other lady, which I said, she was in California. So we started 2 of us, and then started the group. But the first year or 2, we had very few people. So basically, the whole thing, maybe a year later or so, started to pick up. Well, I think, well, first of all, at the beginning, 2009, the internet was not that really, Facebook wasn't that really popular. So that's probably why we have very few people applying for it. And the problem was not so much applying it, but to find it. So what I did, basically, there were several alopecia sites, which was not a scarring alopecia. So I put sort of like a little ad saying that I have a group here if you wanted to join. But the first 5 years, it was very few. It wasn't like this. So I would say most likely the last 5 years, that really, really went crazy. Right now, we have about 3,200. But I know there's probably another 10,000 out there that they either don't know it. You make a request to join, there are certain things you have to do it. And if you don't do it, I usually don't accept them. Like, there are 3 main questions that they have to ask the answer. And if they don't, it's really very hard for me to really tell whether they have the scarring alopecia or they have something else. I think what type of scarring alopecia do you have? Are you under any treatment? And I can't remember the third one, but something very similar to that. But the idea for that is, sometimes people tell me a lot of strange things. Like, on the treatment, they tell me something totally off. So I can tell that definitely they're not in that for that. They're probably trying to sell something or so. and then I reply back. But the problem to replying back is because it's not an email, they don't see my response. Questions, sort of properly, I usually get them in. And you know what? It's been about 14 years now, this November, next month. And I've never had one single one, actually, that they tried to sell something. So. Well, privacy, it's important because, first of all, you have to know how the Facebook privacy group works. How it works is whatever you post in private group or whatever picture you put stays there. You can never take that and put them somewhere. You could, but we also have rules for that on the about section, that if you're not supposed to copy and paste to somewhere else. But anything that you say in the group always stays in the group. It never goes. Sometimes it goes into your feed, like the news feed, but that doesn't mean that it goes into your profile. So sometimes people mix these two things together, your profile and your news feed. News feed is something that for you to see it, but the profile is for everyone to see it on your profile. So those information that is in a private group, it never goes into your profile. You could re-see certain things, something you post in the LPP group. You may see it in your news feed, but not in your profile. So that's the only thing that people have to know, that news feed is totally different than your profile. Yeah, they complain, or actually what they do is they just basically delete themselves from the group and sending me a message saying that I saw my message that I posted on LPP on my news feed. I said, that's no problem, because it's just you see that, nobody else. So, and then we come back again. There's one example that I want to give you. One of the lady was also hiding this from her daughter. Not from the stranger, but even from, like, she was wearing wigs at home, but sometimes not even outside. So she just didn't want her kids to see it. So basically, the Facebook right now, the last couple of years, that has a lot of tools on the bucket. So we can set up certain keywords. We have a moderation alert, what we call. So when you set up your keywords, anybody that use those keywords, it just pops up. And then it sends you an email saying, or actually a message saying that somebody used this word. Do you want to keep it, or do you want to just delete it? There are in the Facebook group, there are admins, and there are also some moderator. I don't have moderator, I have admin. I have just myself and somebody else, which helps me out when things are really go crazy, or when I go out for vacationing. She looks after for me. She's an incredible, nice lady. It's basically the total of all scarring alopecia. I believe the LPP is a little bit more than the others, maybe in small percentages higher than the FFA, CCCA, and all the others. But yes, yeah, we cover all the scarring alopecia. And I try basically not to get anybody with regular alopecia areata or totalis or something, because for one reason, actually, that their treatments are totally different. And when they start to talk about this treatment, the other regular LPP patient thinks that it's the same thing applied to them, and they try to do it as well. So that's why I try to basically eliminate the regular alopecia, just not to get mixed up. On the about section, we have a disclaimer that we say that this is only for the patient opinion, and only it doesn't really. I mean, it's not something that we, even the it's, how to say that. It's basically not really. They don't usually do that, actually. The only time they do it, when somebody believes very strongly about certain drugs that it may help them, and they push that a lot. Actually, for the good intention, because it helped them. So they try to really to tell others that please use this, please use this. This is a great product. So sometimes it happens, and I ask them whether are you involved in this product, And right now, if you know how to Google it and also on, it really comes up very quickly. And it happened before, and this lady was involved into certain product, which is a multi-marketing product. And then once you Google certain things together, it will come up, and we have to give them a warning. And actually, she stopped it. This is something weird, because most people wanted to increase their membership, but we want the opposite, basically. I wish I could decrease my membership, then people get rid of us and say, I don't have this anymore, and just delete themselves. But it's not like, it doesn't work that way, obviously. But my goal is basically, from the day one, it was just trying to help somebody, because I knew I couldn't get a help. It took me 5 years with almost zero help. Other than that person was in California. We were trying to, but it was a very early age those days.